Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thanks very much. Thank you, Johnny. Awfully nice to have you with us, especially on this day, which is kind of a joyous occasion for us. Not of much importance to you, I'm sure, but today marks our 500th performance of To Tell the Truth in this new series. And it isn't that we're proud, it's just that we're grateful and surprised and delighted. And so we're going to celebrate, and we have some goodies here. I want to tell you to look at them is to put on 10 pounds. These were all furnished for us by the Four Seasons Restaurant, the most distinguished one in New York. And here to help distribute this largesse to our hungry panel is one of the captains at the Four Seasons, Mr. Dieter Fisher. Dieter? Now, taking this easy, step by step, what are these delicious things here?
Well, these are our petit fours. It's fruit dipped in chocolate.
Fruit dipped in chocolate.
Right.
I shouldn't be doing this, but while we're talking, describe this thing for us.
Well, this is the Four Seasons Fancy Cake. It's a Bavarian cream, rum-flavored and wrapped in chocolate.
Oh, just let's turn that around, Paul. Let's turn that around, take a look on the inside of there. Eat your heart out. Oh. Isn't that something? And this, the large Danish for one to go. What is that?
That's a strawberry chasson. There's fresh strawberries inside and custard.
Custard?
Right.
And this little nubbin here?
It's called a chocolate velvet. It's a pure chocolate mousse, bittersweet chocolate.
Oh, boy, that must really do it. Okay, and then over here, the strawberry...
This is a fresh fruit tart. There's fresh fruit on top and custard underneath.
This is great. And this magnificent bush, or whatever one would call it.
These are glazed crockenbush.
A what-and-bush?
Crockenbush.
Quackenbush.
Right.
What does it contain?
They're little profiteroles with custard inside and have some glazed strawberries on the outside.
Uh-huh. And over here, oh, look at the inside of that. What do we call
That's
this?
a Torzorano. Has two flavored creams and crushed macaroons.
Oh, that'll do it to you. Well, Dieter, before our panel drowns in its own drool, I want to thank you I've got some on my hands. Thank you very much for Dieter Fisher, friends. Thank you. Bill Cullen? I want to wish you a...
Bill Cullen. Peggy Cash. Nipsey Russell. And Kitty Carlisle.
Thanks very much, friend. I want to tell you, when we celebrate, we don't kid around.
Oh, boy.
Look at what we got
Yeah.
there.
What are we celebrating?
Oh, this is our 500th performance, dear child, in this new series. Did you not know that?
Hooray
look
for
at
us.
that.
Our 100th week. Yeah.
Hey, there's an apricot that fell in a candy dish.
And as a...
Hey, can I eat?
as a
Toast to
special-
our
Oh, my
500th
God.
anniversary.
A toast, a toast,
A toast to toast.
The chocolate cake.
Mother Nature and Father Time can't get together, it seems, because by the time we learn the games, we're too old to make the team.
I'm not going to drink to
I
that.
was about to introduce
This
him,
is
but you already
incredible.
recognize the rich man's Robert Frost, Mr. Nipsey Russell.
Hey, about that.
All righty. Now let's meet the lady who actually knows how to make all of these desserts. Here she
Fine.
comes.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Charlotte Adams.
Number two.
My name is Charlotte Adams.
Number three.
My name is Charlotte Adams.
And of course, excuse me, only one of them really is Charlotte Adams. We'll be back as soon as I digest it a little bit, but I'm going to read you an affidavit. This way it goes. Keep in mind, only one, of course, is Charlotte Adams. It says, I, Charlotte Adams, have written a cookbook that is a tribute to one of New York's most distinguished and most elegant restaurants called the Four Seasons. My Four Seasons cookbook is a collection of mouth-watering treats, each one classified as belonging especially to one of the four seasons of the year. Here are some illustrations from my book. In the fall, what could be more appropriate than a golden brown roast pheasant? Then when winter comes, an English mixed grill is a treat to warm the chilliest day. In spring, the spring squab and casserole features those fresh, tasty spring vegetables. And come summer, this breast of chicken with cheese and tongue will be equally at home on a buffet, a dining table, or an outdoor patio. My book took me about 8 months to prepare, but it was a most pleasurable period of time. You see, my research took place in the kitchen of the Four Seasons restaurant itself. Signed, Charlotte Adams. Isn't this...
To die the chocolate boy.
You all go away for just a few minutes and listen to our clients, and we'll be right back.
My God, I want to look.
Brought to you by the Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
I don't know what makes my Italian family happier, talking or reading. But when we're doing both, we're in heaven. Every bowl of salad brings out unlimited family gossip. Every breadstick makes a very good point. Keep our glasses full and our forks busy, and we'll keep going. And that's how it goes when we're at the Olive Garden. It's what they call hospitaliano. We feel happy when you feel at home. In fact, I feel at home enough to tell you, Nina was not born with that nose. The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Living heartburn-free just got easier. Just keep one of these handy. Pepsid AC Chewables. Minty chewables in their own little wrappers. They go wherever you go to stop heartburn before it starts. What can be easier than that?
Don't get me started on stockbrokers. I had one for the better part of 10 years. Let me tell you something. The only one who was broker was me. With Ameritrade, it's so simple. I sit down at my computer. I want to execute a trade. A couple of clicks, trade goes through. $8 a trade. I know that when I wash this boat, it's going to get done right. That's how I feel about Ameritrade. I know that when I make a trade, it's going to go through. I don't have to wait for a stockbroker to call me back. Don't have to worry about his commission. I don't need that extra stuff. I got enough to think about. Stay out of the street.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, where's my hug for your papa? Did you finish that book?
Oh, yeah.
People talk about their finances. They say, I woulda, I coulda, I shoulda. You didn't read that book, did you?
I'll read it.
Not me, I'm doing it. I'm doing it today. My stockbroker said you're going to hate online trading. You can add that to the long list of things he was wrong about.
Call toll-free 800-573-9876 or visit Ameritrade.com. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Watch closely.
There's my man Bob.
I love the new
3, 4. How many couples? It's going to say 4 couples.
No, there's always 4 couples.
Hitting. Love couples.
Wait, what's $20?
4 couples. 1?
Oh.
Which 4 couples? I was told there'd be no math.
That's a really hard question. I can't add either.
Number 3.
The new Newlywed Game, weeknights 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific only on Game Show Network.
Hey guys, welcome to your world. Ever wonder why it's so full of sweat? Fact is, guys sweat 40% more than women. That's why there's Ultimate. Speed Stick Ultimate. It's antibacterial, so it kills the germs that cause odor. In this world, getting rid of sweat and odor is the ultimate goal. Speed Stick Ultimate. Kills odor, protects guys.
Now, we have 3 elegant ladies, and they all say that they are Charlotte Adams, author of the Four Seasons Cookbook. And let's start the questioning with a guy whose idea of a great meal is a Dr. Pepper and a Mars bar, Bill Cullen. Great gourmet.
That is true, but I am partial. I was going to say I lean to, but I am partial to desserts. Number 1, could you tell me who the original executive chef was of the Four Seasons?
Albert Stockley.
Number 2, who is Stuart Levin?
He's a writer, cookbook writer.
Number 3, where is Stuart Levin now?
He's in New York, and he is connected with Pabio.
Number 1, where's Albert Stockley now? I mention names only because I've been one of their original customers there.
He has a restaurant called Stonehenge.
Number 1, I'll stay with you if I may. He has a partner, too, who is a restaurateur. Could you tell me his partner's name?
No.
Number 3, could you possibly tell me the name of the restaurant that Albert Stockley's partner owns here in New York City?
Yes. No, I can't, but I know.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
Number one, how much is this chocolate cake a serving? Because it is pure. The best way to describe it, it is pure chocolate. The essence. It's the greatest stuff in the world. How much is that a serving?
That's the chocolate velvet you're talking about?
Yeah, what Peggy got. Yes, pure chocolate. Yeah, how much is that?
I don't remember the prices. I don't like to ask.
Well, it's worth it anyhow. I don't know whether you're asking in prices or calories. And calories, it must be 8 zillion out of sight. Peggy?
Whoever made this chocolate cake, it's the best chocolate cake I ever ate in my entire life. It's heaven. Number one, how do you make that chocolate cake?
I will tell you how. You buy the Four Seasons cookbook, and it has the recipe.
Is it very hard to do, this chocolate cake?
No, it is not.
Okay. Number three, what is sauce soubise?
I don't know.
Okay. Number two, if I asked for salad niçoise, what would be in it?
Olives and lettuce and tuna and anchovy.
Thank you. Number one, where is Lockover's restaurant?
In Boston.
Thank you. And number two, who is the original owner of the Pavillon? It's very famous.
Henri Soulet.
Thank you. And number three, Mr. Soulet owns a restaurant now in New York. Could you tell me what that restaurant is?
He doesn't.
Mrs. Soulet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you got a buzzer there, Peggy. Sorry, we're going to go to Nipsey.
Well, I don't know if I should even try and question here. You know, I'm from Georgia and Southern cook. Keep it up. It's great food in Georgia. They cook so good in Atlanta, they can put a biscuit on your head, your tongue will slap your brains out. I'm telling you, it's great. Can you tell me, number one, if there's considerable preoccupation with weight loss now, can any of these desserts made with artificial sweetening?
Can they be made?
Yes.
Yes.
Number two, how much would, what kind of a budget would you have to maintain this kind of a diet?
What kind of budget? I would think about $100,000 a year.
Yeah. What would one meal like this cost in the Four Seasons?
Do you mean the whole way through?
Yes.
A complete Four Seasons
Right.
meal? Something like $40.
For
two.
just one.
Come on.
For two. Oh, well, we'll take all of our friends.
No
And
drinks.
no
drinks. No drinks.
No drinks.
No.
Didn't ask about getting your friend stoned. Said you want to feed him.
No wine.
Well, it's very hard for me to question these ladies because you know my preoccupation with food is absolutely monumental. I'd rather eat, but I would like to find out how many calories, no kidding, would be in a serving of this chocolate cake, which is really out of sight.
I would guess about 1,500.
1,500. And would you be kind enough, number three, to tell me what you call this when it's on a cake?
It's tart.
This?
I can't see. I don't have my glasses on.
It looks like a cream puff, and it has caramel on top. And when it's on a cake, when they're all surrounding...
It's part of the croquembouche, but I can't remember what you call it individually.
Number one, what do you call it?
I call it a cream puff.
Oh, you do? And number two, what do you...
And that ding-dong cuts out all the questioning and makes for balloting time. And they're going to vote, and we're going to look. Is it number one, do you think? Or do you think it's number two? Or do you prefer number three? And in the event, we pay $50 for a wrong guess, $500 if nobody comes up with the right answer. And Bill Collins starts, please.
Well, I voted number two. Didn't know who Stuart Levin was, and he was the original or one of the managing executives there. And he is not Pavillon, which number three remembered. And nobody remembered Leon Leonidas' restaurant. And by golly, I think it's the Coach House, but I'm not sure.
It
It
is.
is Coach House, right. A sensational
So
restaurant.
you go for three,
And
huh?
Stockley is at Stonehenge. I voted for three. She had the right.
We got a three going, and Peggy Cass.
Whoever the real one is, I have tears in my eyes with love for you for that chocolate cake. I'm going to buy that book, and I buy very few things. I voted for number one because she knew about Lockover's, which is a pretty good restaurant in Boston.
A three and a one and a Nipsey Russell.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if it don't run wild and you can't fry it in hog fat, it ain't fit to eat. But I went for number two because she's the one I'd like to see most bumping around in my pantry.
We're all the way across the board. Kitty, you're
I don't
gonna have
believe
to
a word
smash
you
this.
said. However, I'm going to vote for number one. I don't really care who it is because the food's so terribly good. I'm going to run out and buy the book, and then I'll know.
All right, the votes are all in. And at this time, will the real Charlotte Adams please stand up?
Number one.
There's Miss Adams. And number two, please, could you tell us what your name is?
My name is Clodagh, and I'm a dress designer with a boutique in Ireland.
from Ireland. How nice. And number 3, please. What is your name?
My name is Lee Rybold. I live in Manhattan. I'm an interior designer.
Good to have you. Mrs. Adams, the questioning time is very limited. Will you settle for me saying that the 5 of us adore you?
Oh, I'd settle for that gladly.
You have started the week, I'll say, with a large, large celebration. Thank you, Charlotte Adams and Imposters, for being with us on To Tell the Truth. Now, next we're going to meet an enterprising young lady who has a solution, or one, to a monstrous city problem. Any city. Stay tuned.
His music has graced 5 continents, including 4 performances at Carnegie Hall. Now, Cornerstone Promotions presents 36 classic love songs by Randall Atchison, a magnificent new collection of piano artistry. His glistening arrangements and magical performances are spellbinding. Here are the greatest love songs of our time like you've never heard them before. This is music to arouse your deepest romantic feelings. Randall Atchison has the gift of communicating the beauty of music. You'll treasure this powerful collection of your favorite love songs. Romantic music just doesn't get any better than this. "36 classic love songs by Randall Atchison on 2 cassettes or 2 compact discs. Here's how to order. Call this toll-free number now for Randall Atchison. 2 cassettes, $19.98. 2 CDs, $26.98, plus $5.50 for shipping and handling. Have your credit card ready and call now.
In Georgia, at the Grayfield Inn, it's the pecan pralines that make their breakfast cereal so delicious. In Vermont, at the Inn at Ormsby Hill, maple waffles set their cereal apart. And in Monterey Bay, baked palmiers make breakfast unique at Green Gables Inn. New Country Inn specialties, old-style recipes from 3 of our favorite inns, each one a taste of a beautiful place. Country Inn specialties. Go someplace nice for breakfast.
Now let's meet our clever city girl.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Karen Dumont.
Number 2.
My name is Karen Dumont.
Number 3.
My name is Karen Dumont.
Okay, we'll try to find out. Here is Karen Dumont's monumental message. It goes like this. I, Karen Dumont, am the executive director of the Environmental Action Coalition. Our organization was responsible for organizing Earth Day. We are now teaching people about environmental problems and the ways that individuals can get involved to fight them. For instance, we are currently instituting a citywide recycling program for New Yorkers. Residents are invited to bring their glass, tin, aluminum, and paper to community recycling centers, where the material is gathered up and sold to scrap dealers and major aluminum companies. This is our way of introducing the public to the incredible problem of solid waste in a huge city. The problem is called, most appropriately, Trash is Cash. Signed, Karen Dumont. And let's start the question with Peggy Cass. Why not?
Thank you. Number 1, isn't it true that those soft aluminum cans that you can pull up the pop-ups aren't recyclable?
The aluminum cans are recyclable.
What kind aren't?
bimetal cans, which do have an aluminum top and a steel body.
I see,
They're
and they're
not
not
crushable.
Oh, number 2, why don't they start using glass again instead of that stuff that's not recyclable? Like people like Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola and everything.
Well, it's easier for them to put them in the cans, and eventually they hope that they will be recyclable.
I think it tastes better in the bottles anyway. I always have thought it tastes better in the bottles. Number 3, what is that? Is that thing that you can buy that smashes all your stuff down into a little wad, that machine, is that a good thing to have?
You mean individual ones?
Yeah, they sell them, and they smash everything up into like a little pile.
Well, it reduces our work if you're going to deliver it to our centers for...
Well, yes, I know, but...
Thank you, Peggy. We're going to go to Nipsey.
I don't know.
Number 1, what's the major product that seems to get in our way as far as eliminating this non-recyclable stuff?
The major product?
I mean, in packaging.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think right now it's plastic because...
Number 2, what's meant by biodegradable?
I don't know.
Number 3?
If it's left to its own devices, it'll eventually go back into the environment.
Like us.
Once again, number 2, can these products be melted down by an intense heat and used for road paving or something like that? I saw that at the General Motors exhibit in the World's Fair.
By which products?
The plastics and the packages that can't be recycled and can't be integrated into the earth.
It's too costly for them at the time.
Thank you, Nipsey, and Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. And number 1, when you had Earth Day, did you all clean up after yourselves?
There were a lot of kids who helped us clean up.
But a lot of kids who didn't clean up.
There were a lot who didn't.
Now, number 2, recycling is very good, and we're all for it, I'm sure. But recycling produces problems, too. I read recently there was a problem with poison boxes, poison cartons from recycling that held food. Does that happen too?
Yes, it does. In fact, with the new phosphate detergents, there was a big problem. They had to put them back on the market again.
And number 3, cannot you use garbage for fills, for landfills?
Oh, yes.
Well, now, why isn't that done instead of dumping it out in the ocean to repollute everything?
Well, it depends on... some is used that way, definitely.
And from Kitty, we go down to Bill Cullen.
One of the answers, Kitty, is that they've just about filled in all the land they have to fill. They're destroying some great wetlands by filling.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Bridge over to Europe.
That's not a bad idea.
Garbage?
What's the issue here? Number 3, how is glass recycled?
It's ground down, and then after it's ground down, then it's melted down, and after the colors have been sorted, this is part of our program, the greens and browns are separated from the clear glasses. Then it's melted and reused again. And each time it's done, it's refined so that it's...
Thank you. Number 1, economically speaking, what is the cost or the proportion of cost to recycling as opposed to burning, which we do mostly in New York? A lot of it's towed to sea and dumped in the ocean and eventually floats back. But as a matter of fact, there's some knocking on the door right now. And we're in the middle of the island. But what is the cost of recycling as opposed to this indiscriminate the way we throw it away?
Right now, I don't think you could define the cost of recycling versus collection.
That is our answer, and there is the bell, and on it we must mark our ballots. And we have to decide. Do we think it's number 1? Or is it number 2? Or is it perhaps number 3? You know what the rules are, and so we'll start with Peggy, who has already marked her ballot. Peg, there?
I think it's good old number 1.
You got some goodies left over from the first spot, huh? We got a number 1 going, and Nipsey Russell.
I went along with Peggy, not that they weren't all equally well informed, but her approach to the answers seemed to impress me most.
We've got a pair of 1s, and Kitty, what are you going to do?
Well, Peggy's recycling all by herself down there. I'm going to go for number 3. I think she's the kind of girl who sets up these centers, and...
I just told myself a dirty joke.
We've got a 3 and a pair of 1s, and Bill Cullen, how are you going to go?
Well, like Kitty, you see, I've been drinking the coffee, whereas Peggy's been nipping and Nippy's been pegging. And And so I go along with Peggy. I like number 3, especially her biodegradable definition, so I voted for number 3.
Well, we're split out on the wide ends. Let's see what happens here. The votes are all in. Will the real Karen Dumont please stand up? Is it number 2? It's number 1. Thank you, Karen.
Who'd you vote for, Kit?
Let's find out about your friends. Number 2, please. What is your real name? What do you do?
My name is Barbara Martinelli, and I'm a coordinator for Pan American World Airways in New York.
That's a good bunch of people.
Take it to Europe.
And number 3, please, could you tell us what your real name is and what you do?
My name is Edith Alston, and I'm a freelance editor here in New York.
Karen, there's little I can add to all this except to say we wish you well in this project. We'll all try to cooperate. Thank you very much, as well as your imposters, for being with us on To Tell the Truth.
Burt Ludden.
Even stays crunchy in milk.
My headache's gone. That extra strength Burt Ludden really worked.
This
Burt Ludden.
tastes too good to be low fat.
See? People love me.
Burt Ludden's Love Buffet, weeknight 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific.
Great party, Susan.
Thanks, Brad. Mom, can I have some more to eat? Sure, sweetheart.
Do torches and candles bring too much togetherness to your get-togethers? Spread out with Off Mosquito Coil. And Off you don't put on. Each coil repels bugs 10 times further than candles. Which makes the great outdoors even greater. Make your yard a virtually bug-free zone with Off Mosquito Coil. Keeps bugs off. S.C. Johnson Wax.
You want a long-lasting lipstick, but you don't want it to leave your lips feeling dry. So can you have long-lasting color that cares? Introducing Color Moist Lipstick from Oil of Olay. Tests prove its moisturizers, pigments, and color enhancers lock moisture in and color onto your lips, keeping lips feeling soft while the color lasts hour after hour after hour. And the name? New Color Moist Lipstick from Oil of Olay. We can prove long-lasting color can care.
When it's time to clean your outside windows, does the job seem this big? Next time, try Windex Outdoor. Its concentrated formula and sheeting action dissolve tough grime to get windows clean. Windex Outdoor. A beautiful shine, a lot less time.
If you haven't tried new Colgate Total Fresh Stripe, the minty fresh gel that fights cavities, tartar, plaque, gingivitis, and bad breath all day long, you haven't experienced toothpaste nirvana. New Colgate Total Fresh Stripe, the brushing that works between brushings.
Hey, watch this. Up next, 4 celebrity panelists on What's My Line. Then Blank Along with Match Game, followed by Super Password.
You know, America is so fatty today, we take up one cause and drop it almost as soon as it started. But I remember Earth Day here in New York. Did any of you all participate in that? It was one of the greatest days of all time. It was after a very tumultuous winter and a great deal of strife, and this was the first day of spring.
Right.
Yeah. And the whole town turned out, and everybody was in love.
Yeah.
Everybody loved everybody, regardless of what their differences had been all winter long. And I was host at a great gathering downtown Union Square, about 40,000 people. And I got up and I said, friends, I am here to speak to you about polluting the air. And out of the crowd came this one voice that said, what do you mean? You've been doing it for years. And for me, there went Peace Day. That was the end of Peace Day. We'll see you all tomorrow, friends. Take care now. Try to be with us. Panel.
Transportation and other consideration provided by Pan American World Airways, featuring theater in the air, international flight food service, tours on tape, and weather insurance, all new from the world's most experienced airline. Our central characters today will receive a beautiful 3-carat Lindy simulated diamond made by Union Carbide, set in 14-karat gold and backed by the Lindy simulated diamond guarantee. Prizes or product mentions were furnished and or paid for by the manufacturers or supplier of the products or services identified on this program. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Trotman production.
I'm gonna try to keep you high.